So a friend of mine asked me to refurbish his Game Boy Advance. And of course, it's a Game Boy Advance with no battery cover because that's how they all are. We've got a new shell, a new IPS screen to put in it so it's nice and bright and clean. But that's what we're doing today on Tech Guy Life. Alright, so first thing we should do is we should make sure that this thing actually works. So we throw in our test cartridge, turn it on. And you can barely see that because, well, it's a very dark screen. Yep, she's working. There we go, you can see it there. Alright, so turn it off, test cartridge out, and let's take this apart. So first thing, you gotta get these batteries out. And first step, the lovely tri-wing screwdriver. There are 6 tri-wing screws on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then this guy in here, it's just a regular Phillips. I just throw that in to mess you up. Okay, so now that we got the back cover off, there are, 3 Phillips screws holding down the board, which is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and the LCD screen is connected here, so we just have to pop up the connector, and then the ribbon cable should just come out like that. And now we should be able to just lift out the motherboard. This is technically all we need out of the old shell. So this kit came with both styles of ribbon cable for the Game Boy Advance display. So there's the small to larger connector, or there's the straight small to small one. So this particular Game Boy Advance uses this one. So we put the ribbon cable in face down and lock it. So we're good there. This is a pre-laminated screen, which makes it way easier for installing into a case or a shell, in the fact that it already has the glass front attached. So all we have to do is, there's a little strip of adhesive here and a strip of adhesive here, and when we place it into the screen, you just kind of have to move it around like so that you can get it in, and then it will drop in without any problems. So this comes off here, and then this comes off here. And then make sure you get both of the touch sensors through the back. And now it's installed in the shell. That's it. That's nice and simple. So now I don't have to worry about getting dust in between the lens and the actual LCD display. I've got this nice protective covering on here until I'm done. So that makes this really easy to work with. And is it just me, or does this seem very dark in here today? I think I need some more light. There, that seems a little bit better. I don't know what was going on there. I got the touch sensor adhesive little pads installed, but I also like to install the optional wires so that you get full, like, hard control over your screen. So I'm going to tin the pads. There. Nice and easy. So they give you 3 pre-made wires. 1, 2, and 3. So now it's time to put the board back in. Well, actually, hold on. Gotta put all the controls in. The first thing we got to do is get these wires connected to the right points on here. To do that, we need to run them like this. So you take your board, put it underneath like this, and keep the board this way and keep the shell this way because we're going to flip this over to put it back in because this is the part that goes down. So we need to try to keep these wires out of the way of the visible area of the case, which is not always easily done. So the places where everything goes. Test point 2, which is right here, is for the select button. So that is the test point for the select button. There's test point 9 is for that button, I believe, and that's what we're going to use for left. And then the other button is the right button, which is the test point up here. So I got a little bit of flux and tin to the pads. But I'll get some close-up pictures afterwards so that you can see how it looks. So this is left goes to test point 9, so that's this one here. Right onto test point 8, and then last but not least, test point 2. And then we'll clean up the spots with a little IPA. Okay, now that we've got everything all cleaned up and the wires are all connected, now we can get this installed. So we want all the wires to be behind the ribbon cable, like so. The hard part here is trying to keep the wires from going into the gamepad and running in places that you don't want them to be. So this is kind of a tricky situation. So got it in. I'm just going to keep holding it, flip it over, and just see, yeah, you can't see the... And of course, I forgot something. I forgot to put in the little filler for the power light. So that is over here. Let's see if I can get it in without having to take everything apart. And I got it in. So it just tucks in into this little hole here, and there's a groove out of it in order for it to fit up against a post, which you can't see at all. Okay, last step. Let's get this ribbon cable in. All right, and that is in, nice and connected. So far, I'd say it's looking pretty good. I think now we can actually put the screws back into the motherboard. All right, motherboard's all screwed down, so that's good. The LCD is connected to the board. Got our wires are all connected. I think the last step is just to finish up the install. Power button, make sure it's turned off. We put our power button back in. And then I think the last thing we've got are the two bumpers on the side here. That is it. So here comes the back shell. First screw to go back into the back of the shell is going to be the Phillips one. Now we switch back to the good old tri-wing. And there we go. Last screw is in. So this is fully back together. And it seems to be working just fine. The last thing that we are going to upgrade this Game Boy with is the rechargeable battery pack, the USB-C rechargeable battery pack. And it's pretty cool because it literally just goes in and replaces the batteries. Because it's got two terminals on here, so you can do this mod to any Game Boy. So you just simply take it and you put it in place of the batteries, just like that. And then the battery compartment has a hole for the USB-C port. So you can charge your Game Boy. Now, I think I'm going to have to charge it because it's a brand new battery, so I don't want to, drain it or anything, but let's plug it in and see what happens. I might explode, who knows. So there, you can see that the charging light is on. So that's good. So now it's time to remove the protective cover on the lens. And there it is. Beauty. Let's turn it on. Nice. Oh wow, I suck at this game. But the main thing is it works, right? It's not the gameplay. It's not the game we're going for. It's the, confirming that it actually functions. Let's try Game Boy. Ah, missed. Ah. So to get the menu to come up, you have to hold select and the left and right triggers at the same time. Then you press select to move through the options, and the left and right buttons to change whatever option you're on. But there we go. It's all working. I don't think the touch sensors work very well, though. I've had this in other units, and the touch sensors just don't work well, which is why I'm glad I hooked up the wires, so that you still have access to the settings to change. Anyway, looks like another project successful. I hope my friends are just gonna like this. I kind of like the blue and the black combination. Um, I prefer more of the traditional colors, like the that match the original Game Boy Advance shells. But this isn't bad. It looks kind of nice. But that's it for this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.